For 31 months straight, my bank app told the same story before payday. By day 26, the balance sat under $20. By day 28, one tiny surprise or one skipped deposit meant overdraft fees and panic. If that sounds like your month, listen closely, because by the end of this video you will have a simple calendar system that can break the paycheck to paycheck cycle without needing a raise or a fancy budget app. My name is Harry, and for 2.5 years I lived on a 24-hour countdown between my card working and my card getting declined. I worked customer support for an internet company, sitting in a headset 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. On paper, I was fine. I brought home $2,873 each month after taxes. Rent was $931. Car, insurance, phone, food, all together came to about $1,600. That left a few $100s in theory. In reality, I finished most months with less than $10. What finally changed was not that I learned some magical hack, it was that I stole 1 month back from the calendar. Before I show you exactly how that works, I want you to see how deep this trap can go. Every month followed the same script. Paycheck hits on a Thursday. By Thursday night, rent money is already spoken for. Friday, the car payment pulls. Saturday, I grab groceries. Sunday, a friend texts about dinner and I tell myself, it's only $25. By the next Wednesday, my account sits at $43 with 4 automatic payments still waiting in line. I start checking the app 3 times a day, hoping nothing hits early. Late fees became normal. A $42 bill became $69 after penalties. I paid overdraft charges that added up to more than $500 in 1 year just because payments landed 1 or 2 days before payday. I was broke from timing, not from taste. One night, scrolling through money forums on my couch, I kept seeing the same weird pattern. People who stopped living paycheck to paycheck were not always making more money. They all talked about getting a month ahead. That phrase would not leave my brain. Around that time, a friend handed me a beat-up copy of The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. It was written almost a century ago, but one line punched me in the chest. Pay yourself first before you pay anyone else. Later, I picked up Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin, which hammered the idea that every dollar is a piece of your life energy. Those two ideas combined into the shift that finally broke my pattern. Here is the core principle I discovered. You do not escape paycheck to paycheck by tracking every coffee or memorizing 10 different budget rules. You escape by changing which month your bills belong to. Right now, if you are stuck, this is probably how your timeline works. Month 1. Paycheck pays month 1 bills. Every dollar that comes in is already aimed at something in the next few days. There is no buffer. The smallest delay, the smallest surprise, and everything tips over. My goal became very simple. I wanted month 9 Harry paying month 8 bills. I wanted a full month of breathing room between money coming in and money going out. I did not get there with one big heroic moment. I got there with a specific, boring system, and I want you to steal it. Step 1 was changing the path of my paycheck. I opened a second checking account at a local credit union. No debit card, no online shopping attached, nothing fancy. I called HR and moved my direct deposit from my old bank to this new account. From that point on, every dollar I earned landed in an account I never used in stores. That account became my holding tank. My job was not to spend from it. My job was to move money out of it on a schedule I controlled. I drew what I now call the bill ladder. I took a cheap notebook and made 4 columns for the month. Column 1 was income dates. Column 2 was fixed bills with their due dates. Column 3 was flexible costs like food, gas, and small fun. Column 4 was a tiny line titled Future Month. When I wrote it out, something clicked. Most of my bills were not big monsters. They just all stood in the doorway at the same time, blocking each other. In The Automatic Millionaire, David Bach talks about making your money automatic so you do not have to think about it all day. My version was not about fancy automation. It was about giving every bill a clear step on the ladder and then slowly moving that ladder 1 month back. Month 1 of the change, I did not try to save $500. I picked one target, groceries. Normally, I spent about $317 in random trips to the store. So I set a hard ceiling of $269. That $48 difference did not go to a treat. On the day my paycheck landed, I opened the holding tank app and moved exactly $48 to a separate savings space inside it, labeled Next Month Groceries. That was it. I did not touch it. I did not count it as available money. I just let it sit. Month 2, I repeated the same move for gas. Average gas was $122. I set the new limit at 97. $25 went to a next month gas line inside that same savings space. By the end of month 2, without feeling like I was on a crash diet, I had $73 tagged for a future month. Here is where most people quit. Because $73 does not feel life-changing. It feels like a single emergency away from disappearing. And for years, that was my problem. I kept judging progress too early. Month 3 is where everything changed. That month, I added one more piece. I chose one fixed bill, my phone. It was $83 and due on the 12th. Instead of paying it automatically when it showed up, I paid it 2 days early using money from the holding tank. Then, when my paycheck arrived the following week, I took $83 from the paycheck and dropped it into the future month space. That simple swap did something powerful. For the first time, one bill officially belonged to a future paycheck, not the current one. By the end of month 3, my future month space showed $156. Still not huge, but now a real pattern was forming. Here is the part that shifted everything, and it might break some of the advice you have heard for years. The old way I thought about money was survival. Cover this week, worry about next week later. But when I looked at those forum stories and at the ideas in The Richest Man in Babylon and Your Money or Your Life, a strange pattern kept showing up. People who escaped the paycheck trap treated their bills like a slow-moving train, not a series of surprise attacks. They arranged their life so money always arrived before the train did. So in month 4 through month 7, I stopped worrying about cutting every coffee. Instead, I focused on one thing only. Each month, I chose one more bill to slide back. Month 4, I slid the internet bill. $91. Month 5, I slid car insurance, $137. Month 6, I slid electricity, around $119. Month 7, I slid rent by a small step, paying $50 extra toward the next month. Every time I slid a bill, I paid it a little early from the holding tank, then reimbursed the holding tank from the next paycheck and tagged that amount for future month. Those tagged amounts were not random savings. They were pieces of a future month's life being paid for in advance. By the end of month 7, my future month space had crept up to $983. That was the moment I realized I was no longer truly living on the current paycheck. Most of the month's essentials were already covered before the month began. I did not change my job. I did not win the lottery. I did not start some risky side hustle. I only changed the order in which money and bills met each other. In month 8, my car needed unexpected repairs. $427 I had not planned for. Old me would have thrown it on a card and hoped. New me borrowed from the future month space on purpose. I paid the mechanic, watched my buffer drop from $983 to $556, and it hurt. But it hurt differently. I was not going negative. I was using a cushion I had built. Over the next months, I focused on rebuilding the buffer back above $800. By month 10, something wild happened. Payday stopped feeling like oxygen. I could look at the upcoming month and see rent, utilities, phone, internet, gas, groceries, all covered by money already sitting in the holding tank or in the tagged future month space. The new paycheck was now aimed at the month after that. That is what it actually means to stop living paycheck to paycheck. It is not that you become rich overnight. It is that your life moves one full cycle ahead of your income. So how do you use this, even if your numbers look worse than mine? First, map your month on paper. Not in your head, not in an app you open once. Write down every paycheck date for the next 60 days. Under that, list rent or mortgage, utilities, phone, internet, car, insurance, minimum debt payments, and realistic food and gas. Do not guess. Pull actual numbers. Second, choose one flexible category to attack for 90 days. Not all of them. Maybe it is groceries, maybe it is takeout, maybe it is random Amazon orders. Look at the last month's spending and set a ceiling that is 20 to 30% lower. Whatever that difference is, give it a name. Future month. Third, if your employer allows it, open a separate checking account with no card and reroute your direct deposit there. If they do not, you can still simulate it by creating a holding sub-account inside your existing bank. The rule is simple. Paychecks land in the holding area first. From there, you move money out on purpose. Fourth, pick one bill this month to slide back by one step. Maybe it is the smallest fixed bill you have. Pay it early using money already in the holding space. When your next paycheck arrives, repay the holding space and tag that amount as future month. Repeat that move every month. Slide one more bill. Keep tagging the repaid amounts for the future. Your goal is not to build some huge savings number right away. Your goal is to have, at some point in the next 12 months, one month where every essential bill is already covered before the month even starts. When that happens, lock it in. From that point forward, current income always pays for next month's life, not this month's emergencies. You will still have surprises. Tires will blow, but those hits will land on a cushion, not on concrete. Looking back now, the biggest change was not the dollars themselves, it was my identity. For 31 months, I saw myself as the guy who always ran out of money. When I finally built that 1 month buffer, something rewired. Touching that future month money felt wrong, the way grabbing rent money for shoes feels wrong. If you are stuck living paycheck to paycheck, even after years of trying, your problem might not be discipline. Your problem might be that your bills and your income are standing in the same doorway. Your job over the next months is to gently move one of them back. Do not wait for a perfect moment. Pick one category, one bill, and one small odd number you can slide into the future this month. Do it again next month, and the month after that. If you keep going, there will be a morning when you open your bank app, see that next month's life is already paid for, and realize you are no longer playing financial catch-up. You are finally a month ahead. That is how I stopped living paycheck to paycheck after 2.5 years of struggle. Not with a windfall, not with a miracle, but with a notebook, a holding account, and a quiet decision to always live 1 month ahead of my money.